I don't know what is going on right now, but man, the world is going crazy, isn't it? Woo! I just went for a walk. I was feeling extra, I don't know, just down, right? It's a lot. Even the stuff I posted here in this channel, I've been just kind of talking about and thinking over. I hope everyone, I hope maybe it doesn't come across this way, but I'm just thinking, and I could be wrong. I'm definitely open to new information, and yeah, I'm just saying what I think is true and trying to get trying to get stuff off my chest, really. Um, but I want everyone to remember that our perspective is important, and in some sense, people are right. What's going on right now is very, very deeply spiritual. What's going on right now is human beings are deciding whether they want to be free or not, whether they want to take the opportunity or not to stop fighting with sticks and stones, to lay down the tribal and ethnic differences, and to worry about wealth creation, to worry about your children and building a future for them. And I think that's very important for people to know. I think it's very important for people to know right now. You know, it was wrong what Israel did in Palestine. It was a genocide. And you can't call me anti-Semitic. One of my greatest mentors of my entire life, Dr. Jacob Bobrowski, he's almost like a father to me. He got me my spot at the University of Toronto, and he was a professor there, and he really helped guide me. But he also taught me agency and to think for myself. And killing the innocent is wrong. It's just wrong. It's just what it is. And it's done now. And so what should Israel be asked to do? I mean, they're probably not going to be able to do this while Netanyahu's there. But once he leaves, they're going to have to reckon with that. Yeah. I'm deeply worried, but if people are wondering what's going on right now exactly, I'll tell you. I mean, yes, is it information war? Is it propaganda? I mean, sort of. And do both sides lie? Yeah. And do both sides sometimes tell the truth? Yeah. I mean, one side far more than other, but sure, for argument's sake. However, when it comes down to it, there is only one place in the world that doesn't have an official language, doesn't have ethnicity at all tied to the country. There's only one country that rights and freedoms are inherent, inherited, come from God. And that's right. That's the right way. Because the British, as much as they left us a legal structure here in Canada, it's not perfect, and it can be gamed. And, I think as people start to wake up to this and realize this, we're going to see a massive reindustrialization of America. And I think people wonder how that's going to happen right now. But it's going to happen probably either through economic immigration, like we taking in people we need, or massive investment. I don't know exactly. But I do know this. Russia is not a power. We know that from the fall of the Soviet Union. China's a paper tiger. Don't believe me? Okay, well, they're dependent on us for food imports and water imports eventually. I mean, yeah, I don't. They're if listen, if China ever did invade Taiwan, here's what will happen. Taiwan would be gone. Okay, it'd be a smoldering piece of ash. There'd be nothing left for them to claim, and then they'd be blockaded until they starve. And so that leaves us with one other thing then. What is this? Well, this is humanity's third chance. This is humanity has not only been given the opportunity of information from the internet, but that's what's going on. I get it now. So the interesting part about our world order that keeps it in balance, that's unique about it, that's perfectly bad that it works, is that it's open to change, right? And so when there's bad stuff coming, we can delay it, and we can then we can readjust. And so that's the benefit learned from democracy. And so what does that mean exactly? Does that mean we're all going to turn like an idiotocracy or whatever I've heard that movie say, or Wall-E, or no, it doesn't mean that exactly. No. You know, unfortunately, well, see, we're seeing everyone react to the internet worldwide, and as people react to it, everyone else is readjusting. And the benefit of the world order is that there's lots of borders being drawn up, geography. So the geography determines the people and the demographics of who can live there. And so, you know, when people start dividing each other by ethnic and religious lines and aren't so obvious, there's really not a solution to that, right? I mean, you can try an ethno-state, right? And that works. That works for Israel. Why does it work for Israel? Well, there's really only one Jewish religion. I mean, that's it. But that doesn't mean what they're doing in Palestine is correct either. And here's the kicker. So, as much as this is a brilliant thing discovered, it doesn't mean any of us get off. It doesn't mean a single one of us get off. Because you might think, oh, well, either we live in utopia, and it's so great, right? Because of the whole heaven and hell concept that's built right into the Western thing. So we live in utopia, it's the best thing. Or we live in the worst, and it's slavery, and there are colonies of us, and blah, 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 and whatever the fuck else. And what's unique about being a Canadian is that as much as America is is funny and ironic to Britain, Canada is funny and ironic to America. And so we're kind of like the first shot in the dark to kind of help prepare the world for what's coming and for change. And I think that's really the amazing part of this global structure when you look back at it, is that we have designed this system now. And I'll be honest, I don't think it was since the end of the World War II. I think what happened was that kept the lines at bay for a while, but eventually people would reorganize, and, you know, as much as we draw the lines, and so they don't care what the fucking lines are, they don't care what we say. And so then how do you deal with someone, how do you prevent a threat, like, with someone who is a terror, like has a terrorist structure, right? And the CIA learned that from Osama bin Laden. That's how they got him. And so they know how to run operations like that. They know how to run operations like that. I'm sorry, I try to weave all this together here. Ooh, I just got a text, so I lost my train of thought. No, but the internet, what it does is it allows us to share our opinions, and so people can hear that and react to it. And so, you know, that in and of itself is really great, and it works. It works for democracy because it allows us See, what happens is that as people build and as people do well to build for the next generations, the devil, just to use a word, or Satan or Avatar or whatever, it works through human emotions. That's the benefit of logic and free will. And so that is hijacked to make you resent the wealth, even if it benefits you in the end. And so, but how do you do that? Well, unfortunately, you have to do it through education, right? And so if climate change is this existential problem, right, then we're going to need all the people we can get. We're going to need all the people we can get. And so, yeah, I mean, that's that. And for all those who think the world's going to be coming to an end or whatever, it's not. It's not. History has already ended in some senses because we're now into the modern age. We're into the new millennium. It's just what it is. And did the new millennium start in 2001? No. It started when the Soviet Union fell. Yeah. And so we live in the time period of, you could call it a Pax Americana, but, then people just compare it to the Roman Empire. And that's not exactly correct. And so it's not even really correct at all. I mean, besides just sharing some, sort of history with them. And so we literally lack the terminology to describe the situation that we are in. And the only way out of the situation, if you don't like it, is to do something about it, is to create something. And or ideas, share your ideas, create something. There's infinite potential with the online. AI, for example, I think the brilliance of AI, what it's going to be, is that it almost replaces Google in a sense. It's like a research assistant. And so, I think while some think that's going to be the limits of human knowledge, I actually disagree. I think it's going to further it. I think it's going to further it. I don't think it's particularly hard to tell if someone knows something or not. I do think, however, even like AI taking over the world, get remember, they don't think like humans. And so an AI ending the world, that doesn't make any sense to a human. Because the end of the world, like a robot's world doesn't end. You gotta remember, the reason this even terminology and mythology and all this stuff is built right into our conscience is because it's built into our conscience. It's built into the way our reality is structured because it's the stories that have been shared, and it helps to orient us on where we are in the world. And I think that's very important for people to think about, because this world cares about us whether we like it or not. And if we don't care about it, it's going to come get us. And so we best care about the world. It's my message. What does that mean for you? I don't know. But, in the politics of your time will determine what side you're on. And should I even sit here and say any side is evil? Well, I'll say this. Those that lie are wrong. And they'll pay for that. Yeah. And so if you're wondering how to prevent all this stuff, when you sitting back at history, tell the truth. Tell the truth. That's it. That's as close as we can get. And if anyone thinks everything is relative, okay. What exactly is relative about slavery, if everything is relative exactly? Please explain that one to me. Because those people sound like the defenders of the system, which would explain why my boomer grandparents and my millennial uncles just didn't get it. I would share and talk about this stuff with them, and they just wouldn't get it. I didn't even support Trump in 2016. I still don't now. But I get why people voted for him. I get it totally, 100%. And I'm not even mad at Trump. Trump is gonna do what he's gonna do. But what are you gonna do about it? That's the question. What are you as Canadians gonna do about it? Because honestly, that is what I hear here all the time. I just hear people complaining about America, or this or that, with the message really being that we're so great. And I gotta be honest with you, we're not. We're not. And so I would like, I'll be honest. It's gonna be very simple as things move forward here. Either lie and be on the wrong side of history, or tell the truth and be on the right side of history. That's the meaning of it all. That's the spiritual part that cuts down the middle of it if you're trying to read it. The devil works in hatred. And oftentimes mercy is shown for ignorance, but in all fairness, ignorance is no answer. It's no excuse. And just while it's bad to be arrogant when you're intelligent, and humility is crucial for life, not harnessing your intelligence, not doing things, just giving in to the easy aspects of society, which you can. Listen, I've done drugs, I've done crime. Listen, there's lots of ways to make money illegally. Online, with fraud, plenty of ways. But you pay for that. At least me, I paid morally, my conscience awful. I make all these amends, but that process was very cathartic, and it helped build me today. And I think what's gone on is that, I don't know, I on one hand, I might sit here and be worried and think, oh no, all the media that I watch is controlled. That means we're going to be enslaved. No, that doesn't mean that at all. Now listen, people can introduce information to you at a certain time. Is it possible? Sure. But you know what? I don't really care. Because I'll be honest with you, it never mattered. Politics isn't made up of one great man or one great party or one great country. Politics is made up of people. And that's what I find interesting is people. And that's fascinating to me. It's very fascinating. I don't exactly know. I don't know. I don't know what it all means, but I do know this. As Canadians, we have a great duty ahead of us here. We have to, I'm calling on anybody in this country. The liberals have lied to us continually. All they've done is lie. Okay? That we've been called a slave state by the UN. They're going to introduce medically assistance in dying for people with unterminal illnesses, so it's not terminal, for mental health problems in March 2027. That's one massive fucking problem. I don't hear anyone talking about that. These people who claim to be we're so heartfelt socialists. No, they're not. No, they're not. They just hate the poor. That's it. There's no love for the poor. Are you kidding me? Look how they treat Polyev. Polyev goes on about very common, very problems we all have. And they don't even seem to care. And not even the liberals in power. Because I don't even hate Mark Carney. I'm not saying I hate Mark Carney. I'll be honest. He's improved my opinion of the Liberal Party. I get why boomers voted for him, and maybe they made the right choice. It doesn't really matter about what I'm talking about, because the next election here in Canada is going to be determined by the youth vote. So Polyev is most definitely going to win. Most definitely. There's just no doubt about it. And what's interesting is he was around in the Stephen Harper days, And he was the youngest member of parliament, which makes sense why he's so liked by young people. He got a Venezuelan wife, so maybe U.S. will invade Venezuela. We shall see. Though if there's a universal theme, though, here, if there's a real message that's trying to transcend the words and trying to really come out the words and into reality, like the Holy Spirit, then it's this. There's utopia and dystopia. Good, evil, bad, good. Very simple things. Because you can live your life in either one. If you can't imagine change, then your life is a utopia, or it is hell. Because nothing ever changes. And every utopia becomes a hell eventually. Which is why change is necessary. Without change, it's always doomed in the end. That's the message. See you on the flip side.